folks. Welcome to Three Thought Talk, our last Three Thought Tuesday. We haven't done a lot of them. We took Belle's just throwing out the hand talk there. Stop talking shit in front of me, okay? But yeah, it's our last threefold Tuesday. Next week we're back to the Thursdays, which will feel good. So, how is everyone doing?
I'm a little excited to move to back to Thursdays because I miss our Thursdays.
Yeah.
But like, I'm a little sad at the reason that we had moved back to Thursdays. So I'm conflicted. Conflicted.
Yeah, that's fair. So,
I also miss Thursdays. Not gonna lie.
There's something about that day that's just good stuff.
Almost the weekend, and we can start the weekend vibe.
Yeah. I'm speaking of weekend, I'm really curious about your weekend, Leigh-A.
Yeah, what'd you get up to, Leigh-A?
Oh, just, with a couple of people's name days, mine included, and a whole bunch of us far-strided up to the Boston area, and we got to watch episode 7 together as a group, and then just kind of had a chill weekend, just doing birthday things all weekend, and it was really nice.
I heard you earned much G by traversing water.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah.
How?
There's these floating plastic vessels that you can rent, and they give you a safety vest in case you fall in and need to keep your head above water. But so you use these long sticks that have flat handles on the end, so very flat spear tips that aren't
picture
pinky.
kind of made it look like your legs got turned into a spear.
Yes.
Yeah, you go into this device, so you gotta and you gotta sit down and scooch on in, and so you're kind of trapped in there. So didn't flip over. I have no idea what happens if you flip over. But yeah, so we did that for about 2 hours. Just to, show that the Wetlanders,
show the Wetlanders how it's done.
We weren't going to let the Wetlanders intimidate us. We're we're going to keep doing this. This is an excellent idea. We went as far as we could until we couldn't go anymore, and then we turned around and went back. And we got promptly out.
As Chief Foley says, riding a water spear. Yeah.
It was very pointy and stabby. I did the pointy, stabby, floaty thing. So
that sounds amazing.
I love it. Yeah. So,
a lot of fun.
Wise One Shelly, how have you been?
It's been a week.
Oh,
that's okay.
Do we need to stab people for you?
Nope. If you could just there is a nice tea. I'm just gonna ask one of my fellow wise ones for a little help sleeping.
Okay. All right. Okay.
A tea. Interesting.
Yeah.
Does it make you see other versions of yourself?
No, this one hopefully just will help me relax a little bit. And sleep through the night. I'm gonna tell you guys about. Some of it's my own fault, which I will speak about later, because I may have gotten into a book and I was like, 10 pages, and it was 10 o'clock. And then I looked at the clock and I was like, holy shit, it's midnight 30. And then I had to go to bed. And so I woke up and finished it this morning. So
I did a similar thing this weekend, but not with a book, with something else. But yeah, it was I was like, it's 2 a.m. I should sleep.
But legitimately, I had no idea. I was like, reading my book, no big deal. And then I looked at the clock and was like, oh, damn. So, to me, that's the sign of a good book, but now I'm paying for it today.
Yeah. Understandable. I could use some of that tea most likely. My mother came to visit me yesterday. Unfortunately, I had to work, but Kayla entertained her for the evening, and then I came home. And like me, my mother stays up late, generally speaking. And so it was about 2:00, as I expected, before she went to bed. And then I lay there on the couch trying to sleep. And yeah, it must have been 3:30 before that sleep came to me. So I can understand that going to bed far later than expected situation. Not fun. So, but yeah.
I definitely wish sometimes that the whole saying about us being vampires could be true in the sense that, like, I enjoy sleeping, but if I don't want to sleep and don't need to sleep, that would be nice. Because I do enjoy the nighttime.
My sleep schedule is just so inconsistent. Like, I'll sleep a long time, and then I'll do like days where it's like I'll need naps. Like, and my naps are not short, so they're more like pseudo sleep, like a pseudo full night sleep. But then I'll do these like random late nights.
Yeah, ladies, we need to stab someone right now. It's been requested in the chat. Winter's lady has had her debit card details stolen, and someone's gone on the shopping spree. They are hypervigilant about their own security, and we need to stab whoever that is.
Down with that guy or girl.
Yeah.
That person
Take
is still on my stab list.
That's
That's-
the word.
I'm so
It is the worst.
sorry. That's
Very
awful.
sorry to hear that.
Really fucking sucks.
That's awful. And banks are the worst because they take so much longer to give you your money back than like a credit card company. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But they're so on it when you owe them money.
Oh yeah. This is very, very true.
Maybe it's the bank. Let's stab your bank, Winter's lady, for not protecting you. They need
like there's
more
so
maidens
many
on staff.
People who need stabs right now. Should we also do a cleanse? You know,
Do we need to cleanse?
Let's give Winter's lady a nice little.
Yeah.
This is very stressful. There's a lot of stabbing that needs to happen, but yes. Well,
No, different kind of cleansing. Different kind of cleansing.
That kind of cleansing?
there we go.
There we go.
Winter's lady,
go.
this is just for you.
Butt rock.
Yeah.
There you go.
Can I state my first season 2 complaint of the evening?
Sure.
But it's almost over. I think you already stated one.
No, that's not really a complaint. I mean, it's more that we haven't added any more butts to the butt rock. And I don't understand why they aren't like prioritizing that to
That's
the
a good
level
point.
that they should. I was expecting more
Something
butts.
like,
And I
like,
feel like Taylor Napier's butt is probably like
Primed, ready?
primed and
I
ready.
was gonna say Maxim or Ivan are just like right there.
Yeah.
Like, especially with how like their first scene in episode 1 season 2, like
That was a perfect opportunity to add to the butt rock love, but they did not do that.
This is very true.
Rafe has toe.
right.
Rafe has toe.
Rafe has toe.
Yeah.
But maybe Rafe doesn't want to share Taylor's, the image of Taylor's butt. Maybe he's like, no one can see the.
I'm pretty sure Taylor wants to show it though, considering what he puts on his Instagram.
I
Yeah.
mean, we've
So-
seen pretty much everything else.
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're approving like no butt rock is not a butt rock. Not a butt rock is the word. Sorry. Kev wants ishy butt.
Okay.
Yes.
Lesbian Nerdy wants more butt rock. She approves.
Mm-hmm.
Although Arosa says Rand on the wheel is pretty hot if you ask me. That was fair.
I
That's
mean,
true.
sure, but it was shorter than I wanted it to be
Yeah, and we
There
did
was a
have
lot of
land
setup.
training.
for that
Yeah,
giant wheel.
We've had warders training without their shirts on. We have all of Alana's little thruple thing without shirts on. So we've got lots of not shirts on, but we want.
Yeah.
So
just
like, and I feel like Rosamund
turn
Pike might have
around.
a good butt rock, or you know.
Yes. She's
Yeah.
a fan of baths. Yes.
Egwene, Magdalene would have a sorry, wrong name.
Maddie?
You guys,
Madeline?
thank you, Maddie. Yes.
I was
I
like,
said
where are we going with
Magdalene,
this?
and then I was like, yes, no, wrong person, but also good butt rock.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
see, again, all these are good butt rocks.
Legwayne has been hiding her legs from us too. It's just
Yeah,
very
so
upsetting.
Mhm.
Yes.
For sure. Yeah.
I love Silvertooth's comment.
Hopper butt? Oh, wait, sorry, wrong
Hopper
channel.
butt. 3 wolf talk. 3 wolf talk. We'll wait till the
This is
return
true.
of 3 wolf talk to discuss
Yeah.
Hopper butt.
We needed to do
I'm
it
so
at some point. This is
That
true.
would
I'm
be so
excited.
good. The next time they do 3 wolf talk, that we like update butt rock for them. That would be good.
Ooh. Well, Three Wolf Talk is going right before us on What a Holiday.
They are?
Yes. Kind of,
What?
yeah.
I don't. It's not Three Wolf Talk officially, right? It's
No,
the Wolf-
it's the Wolf Brothers have signed up for a slot of What a Holiday.
Okay.
Yes. So Silvertooth
Okay.
and Wolf Brothers 7 are doing a show just before Threefold Brunch
Okay,
at What a
Alright.
Holiday
everybody.
in early December. So, yeah.
Shh. Don't tell them that we'll gift them a little Hopper butt rock.
Yeah.
Shh,
Don't tell
them.
anyone.
Don't tell
Nope.
them. Shh.
Keep it a
Kevin-
secret.
I think Kevin is very accurate here that other Kevin would die if we got an Elaine butt rock. So, can you only imagine what Kev would do?
I mean, it feels like we're gonna have to wait till like season bath, whatever season bath is. Season 6.
I think. Well, technically, she takes baths in the Stone and Tear with Avienda. freaking out.
True.
So possibly season 3.
Yeah.
Kev's dying in chat already. I love that.
You know what? We're here for you. Like, Kev, we want that. We want that. We
this-
want that. We want that.
This
Come
feels
on.
like a poll. We need to ask chat. Will we get a butt rock in episode 8?
Yes.
I think all the answers better be yes, fuck yes, and I will die if not, or something.
I'm going to put yes, no, and Wraith has toe.
Rafe has to.
Interesting. Interesting.
But isn't no inherently Rafe has toe?
Well, that's if you want to, like, if we need to double down, because then I'll add the no and the Wraith has toe together, and, you know.
Yeah, because there could be a Rafe suggested butt rock that doesn't like make it into the episode.
Okay, so like
we
Rafe
could get
wanted the
some-
butt rock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and
So,
he could have
like-
been. Somebody else has toe.
Are you
Or
saying like
preventing.
Rafe has like a butt binder
A butt
Oh, yeah.
binder.
and just like ready, and he's like, okay.
Yeah,
How
for
about this
sure.
one? How about
Like
this
he's got the face board with all
Yeah.
of their faces on, but then like you like literally do that like whiteboard flip over thing, and it's
Mhm.
all their butts.
Right.
Yeah.
I once my grandmother, when I took her to Alberta when she was quite old, my oldest grandmother, she was in her late 80s then. She bought a bunch of souvenirs and she got home and she laid them out on her bed, and all of a sudden from the bedroom we hear her cackling, howling, laughing. And we're like, okay, grandma's lost it. Like, this is it. We're done. And she bought this t-shirt for my auntie that had like 4 kittens with cowboy hats on them. But what she didn't realize is the back had the butts of the kittens with cowboy hats on them.
That sounds amazing. Oh my gosh, that should be the
Ooh,
next
can I also
merch.
tell my grandmother butt story as well, and then we can move on.
Sure, why not? Yeah. And then I
Why
have
do you
something
guys all
to-
have cool grandmothers?
So when I graduated from the Naval Academy, President Bush, it was his year to rotate, or the Naval Academy was where he rotated to for the commissioning
I
ceremony
think
that
you've
year.
told this story before. I think I remember.
Oh,
Tell it
very
again.
possibly, but I'm going to tell it again because I love this story and it's very appropriate. And he was kind of cool. He stayed on stage through everybody, and so when I went up to shake his hand, I just kind of motioned over, because there's a formal way to shake hands where you have to like cross and you put your hand at the small of the person's back, and so it's very appropriate. But as I was doing that, I motioned over his head to point to where my family was sitting, so we could turn and wave so they could get photos. And there's so many great pictures of me with him. But my grandmother loved the one that the photographer that was behind us got as I was swiping my hand up, very not touching him.
Sure.
Grabbed fully, just snapped it right at the right moment that it looks like I'm getting a big handful of President George H.W. Bush's ass.
Well,
We're not aged like George W. Bush, the younger
right,
one.
because isn't
Junior.
George H. Bush kind of known for being a bit of a grab ass already? I think that's
Yeah.
his kind of thing. Especially the older he got, the more handsy he got from the wheelchair.
So so the younger, the more respectful one. Anyways, apparently I grabbed his ass, but it was just my grandmother would show off that picture to everyone. And it's just like, oh my God, stop telling people I grabbed the president's ass. I might maybe get in trouble for that.
Love it.
Well, we have a fun comment to round off the lack of butt rock talk. And then we'll talk about the Aiel clip that was dropped today, which is very, very fun. Silvertooth coming in with, sadly, some wisdom here, I think. And that is, as much as I want butt rock, there is only one episode left. So unless we're getting the Mel and Matt naked fighting Trollocs, he thinks we're not getting butt rock. Now I'm worried we might not get any more butt rock until we get Mel's butt.
No, take it back. Take it back. Don't say that.
All I'm saying is manifest. Silvertooth,
Manifest Mel's butt.
What it is you want in the world.
Am I hearing we need to manifest Mel's butt?
I mean, I can't be mad at the potential for a potential future butt, but we need a build up. Obviously, it would be too much of a shock to everyone's system, right? If that's the next butt. I mean, it's too much.
That's so far away too. So I do feel like Elaine's butt is much closer, and also any sort of butt from the throuple, any sort of butt from the throuple.
Which throuple? Oh, I guess the other one's a quadruple.
Which one's the quadruple?
Rand.
I don't know.
Rand and Nan and Elaine and Avia.
Let's talk Aiel, shall we? I'm going to end the poll. It's very strongly in the Rafe has toe segment and no segment. So,
all right. So we should screenshot that and at him.
Yes. Someone screenshot the poll that just appeared and be like, dude, we don't have faith that we're getting a butt rock. So
message it to you on Discord. Or
DM it to me on Discord and then we'll tweet it out afterwards. So, but yeah, ladies, do we want to talk maiden hand talk?
Absolutely, we do.
I mean, I don't know it, but sure.
Well, we got this clip dropped today. Yep, Leigh-A is translating right now for us, which is very kind of her. Thank you. I need to make sure I get that one. There we go. I was like, right clip up.
Right.
So, yes.
I can see it. I can't hear it.
No, I'm not playing it yet.
Okay. Well, I figured.
Yeah. So I will play it or watch through, and then we can talk about it. So
we've got a made-up language in the show this season, the Aiel hand talk. We've brought on board a deaf actor and presenter and comedian called Gavin Lilly. Also, we have an interpreter, Tim, and we went, let's make a sign language.
The Aiel are very militaristic. You're using spears, bows, shields. So first thing we thought of was, how do we teach them to use hand talk at the same time when they're in a militaristic or a battle militaristic situation, so they can still hold the weapons, still be on guard. So we decided to focus more on signing with one hand. So it's a lot of practice, a lot of training. Sign language is not word, word, word. It's not a linear language. It's a visual, spatial structure. And the actresses were wonderful. Their job was amazing. They developed this very well. It's beautiful.
Why?
Yeah, so that was just
Why?
really, really cool.
All of this is water. Oh,
I mean,
maybe it's
fair.
how. Right. 'Cause she does that when she says how.
Well,
yeah.
and
Maybe that's
I
what
don't
it
think
is.
it's a direct translation. Like, I think it's a gesture of like all this, like, look at this. It's kind of like, and that's one of the things. Because I don't know a lot of ASL. I know a little bit. I think Shelly knows a little bit more than I do. But it's like, again, it's just like, it's basically. It's not formally structured the way we have, so there's not like a the or an a. Sometimes there's not really even genders. It's just more of a concept.
Nouns and verbs, maybe.
Yeah, a lot of nouns and verbs, and just like getting the communication across. So there's a lot of emotions and like, yeah. So we've got a big deaf community here in DC, and when I was more active in my church, which I'm not anymore, they do have a bit, like, they do make sure to cater to the church I go to, National Community Church. Make sure to cater to the ASL community. So there's always a translator, but there's all, like, in a lot of the major events, like, they come, and every time we have picnics, I've sat down with a lot of them, and it's just interesting as they're, talking. So, and some are deaf and mute. So it's just like, it's a whole range. But anyways, it's more about the expression of just like getting the point across, which is hopefully that's not an oversimplification, and I apologize if I offend anybody saying that who's listening or watching.
Yeah, I mean, like people are saying in chat, it is like Silvertooth has just said, and Ashkova said, the detail that we get for things like this is amazing. And I saw that Bain&Chiad tweeted earlier that isn't it fitting for Aiel that the person helping create Aiel Hand Talk is also a comedian? So we can get, just for that Aiel humor is just going to be in there. And it's like, yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, clearly Bain&Chiad aren't here because we're talking about them today, because they're busy doing
filming, but doing their job.
Doing their job. But if they were here, I'm sure they would teach us. Like, so when I learned this after that video, because I watched it like 87 times. So this was Jordan Con. So I assume that this is Jordan, or like their word for Jordan, and
or like a JC,
I just hit my mic.
almost.
And this is like con or gathering or everybody together kind of thing. Is that what you kind of mean, Leigh-A? Like it could be.
Yeah. It's
like the word itself is less important as the meaning behind the gesture.
Exactly. Like, it's the expression of the words, and it's the combination of how you put things together. So if you know anything about German, that's a lot of how, like, the German language gets strung together. Like, it's the expression of a whole bunch of things, and then you make these really long, weird words. But it's like, it sounds a lot complicated when you're first looking at it, but it's actually really simple once you figure it out. So, language is interesting.
Really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently in the X-rays stuff, there is who's just popped that in chat. Ashkova put in the X-ray. They apparently explain more how they came up with the sign for water. So yeah, so I'm currently hunting for that, to be honest.
I haven't
watched
the X-rays.
I know we only said it in passing, but I do want to highlight the generosity that we just experienced from Thor Woodadal.
Yes.
Gave us $59, which thank you so much, sir.
59 knock.
59 knock. I'm not sure what knock are, but yes, thank you. Yeah, I didn't want to. I was going to bring this up. That's why I've started, so we could talk about that actual moment in the show if we wanted to. But I did thank them in chat as well.
I didn't even notice that. That's so cool.
So another thing I posted this on getting back to the hand talk, because I know we will talk about Thor's comment in a bit. So Thor, we will get back to you. We promise. We're getting there. We're just trying not to let our ADHD get the best of us. So another thing that I always thought about Aiel hand talk in general was that the male societies used a lot of hand gestures like for modern day military or SWAT or police forces use when they're in close quarter situation and they're trying to go in quietly and stealthily, like they're trying to roll that nat 20 on their stealth check, so they're not communicating out loud, but they're like, you, go. And I did take a little bit of this when I was in the military. I was called a visit board search and seizure, where we would take a rib over to other boats and then go on board. And I didn't actually do that, but I took the course because I was in charge of that division. And it's a lot of like holding the gun exactly like they were saying in the video, which reminded me. But anyways, I always envisioned that being the male societies, and then that the maidens evolved that into an actual language. So I'm hoping maybe eventually we get like some basic like you, me, go, quiet.
Oh, from the males. I see what you're saying. That would be really interesting. Yeah, because
the male societies do have like some basic communication that they do, and it's mentioned in the books. But and then they're just like, and they're almost like Gaul specifically is very sassy about it. He's like, oh yeah, like.
The maidens don't stop talking. Never stop talking, even when they're quiet.
Well, I can imagine him like doing things and like doing something sarcastic afterwards that is like, oh, it's a joke. It's like flailing and pretending it's maiden hand talk.
Yeah. I'm with you.
That would be fun. I can't find this in the X-rays, so Ashkavi, you'll have to send me a nudge about that. So Thor is telling us that Nark is Norwegian kroner.
Thank you for joining us from Norway,
yeah,
Thor.
So yeah.
Wow, what are you doing up for now? Not that we're sad.
Actually,
this is the first time you joined us.
Yeah, and I see Crystal. Have we seen Crystal before?
Yeah.
New people wave.
New people give us a wave in the chat.
Yes, you have to put a chat emoji in if you know. Yes.
We're always very happy to have new people join us. Thank you so much, and we hope you're enjoying the show as much as we are. And we keep doing the show like outside of show month, which is only a month. Show month,
but show 5.
And we do all sorts of other stuff to entertain ourselves and you as well. So thank you for joining us.
We'll do a little bit of that later.
Yeah.
Oh, Rob, do we have Daily Veil music?
Look at all these new people we have.
Kevin, Angus, and Andrew.
This one. Look at that new people.
Stop! You
this
two,
one.
No.
And then
you have toe. All of you have toe. Toe. So much toe.
Maybe what they're saying, guys. Maybe they're saying that they feel
okay. So
new
Crystal
people,
is
like they're new humans to this week. They've turned a new leaf. They're changing their lives. So it's
I'm glad you can catch live as well. Yes. So glad. So yeah, but I just love the way they've. Who is it? Put it in chat. 1 second. Someone said in chat that Andrew said in chat. It's so cool that any IEL on the show has their own language and will always have that between each other for life if they use it in real life too. Like that would be really cool, wouldn't it? If they learned the language for the show and then carried on using it in real life.
We're going to. Just like Pavara and several other people have become aficionados in the old tongue. There are so many of us that are going to a little bit obsessed and
for sure
the maiden hand talk.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely watched that Jordan Con video on slow-mo like 20 times.
I meant to go back. See
that section.
I meant to go back and rewatch the episode 7 so I could at least do some, even though I wasn't 100% certain what they were saying, but ran out of time.
We'll get there. Yes. We'll get there. There's plenty of time between seasons.
Yeah, there is plenty of time between seasons.
I wanted to just do something besides like random hand gestures.
Okay, so do we want to talk a little bit about Bain&Chiad's debut, or watch the... What were we gonna say? Oh, the Rand video that Thor suggested.
Well, let's do the Rand video since, to start off with. So Thor doesn't have to wait, especially if, like, maybe he wants to.
Thor might want to go to
bed. Or
they.
Maybe they want to go to bed,
I need to find that scene.
Okay. So this is the scene in episode 7 where Rand has done the cat crosses the courtyard, which also I wasn't a fan of that version of cat. That's not how I envisioned it, but that's okay. It's fine.
I'm with you. I didn't feel like we saw it. Like we didn't see the physicality of him changing to that. It just looked like he was walking.
It looked like he was walking, and it's really meant to be this very upright. I always think of it as the very exaggerated when you're like walking in formation and you're like kind of almost stiff.
Yeah, but it just like that's kind of how Rand walks already, so it was hard to like see a difference. Anyway, let's move on.
But we were vamping and giving Rob a little bit of time. Keep vamping.
More vamping. Okay, but we got like Daddy Lan in that section. Just like a hot moment of it. But like we got that little taste of Lan being like putting Rand's jacket on him and like shrugging it down and fixing it, and Lan finding out that Rand's learned some sword forms away from him, which is fine. And like he wanted Rand to put his sword away because he didn't think he deserved it, but then he learned that he learned forms, and he like did this like crazy thing. And then
I was impressed with that. That's hard to do.
Yeah, but
like whip it around.
I feel like that's really small scene communicated a lot of stuff for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Luz Jr. says he imagined cat crossing the courtyard as walking like Snagglepuss. I always envisioned it as I'm really gonna date myself here, but when Usher's "Yeah" came out and he's like walking in that video, that's where I kind of always put it as.
I think for me, I always envisioned it as like a cartoon character with like their upper torso still, but their legs were just like running a mile a minute and they just look like swirly circles. Like that's kind of how I envisioned cat crossing the courtyard. I don't know why that doesn't make any sense.
I always envisioned the cat and the like walk with your shoulders first.
or a Fosse walk for sure. Like any of that would have been good. Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to do a Twitter thread.
I envision tomorrow. Like your head's like this, but the rest of your body just kind of like slumps a little bit because you're just like all loose, but like your head just doesn't move.
Loose yourself.
So everything else is kind of like I don't know. It's a tough one. So Kayla approves of a Usher reference, by the way. So
yeah.
We'll have to do a Twitter thread tomorrow to like show the videos of what you thought cat crosses the courtyard was going to look like.
Maybe that should be the next snack order challenge.
Yeah, do your best cat crosses.
So not just like getting gifs and videos, like do it. I love it.
Do it yourself.
Actually, you know what? It's not a Twitter contest or a Twitter thing. Send us the videos and we'll put them together and we'll show it next week. Yeah, sure. Because that's not stressful. Wait, don't we have a thing next week? Don't we have a thing next week?
No, we don't have a thing next week because we didn't do last week.
Yes, we do.
No, because we didn't have No.
What do we have? What are you talking
It's
about?
a special anniversary for us.
No, it's not because we
our
didn't do it
100th anniversary. Our 100th.
That's next. That's 100th anniversary. That's next week.
Right. We didn't do an episode last week, so it's like 2 weeks.
Motherfucker. Well, send it to us anyways, and we'll do it for our 100. We'll put it all together and do it for our 100th. So you guys have 2 weeks.
So what Leigh-A is saying, folks, is by the way, because yes, we just recently had a 2-year anniversary, but it occurred to me as I was chatting with friends that that means 2 years, possibly we've done 100 episodes. And I went back and looked because occasionally we miss an episode. So, life gets in the way, holidays, things like that. We tend to do less around Christmas and things like that just because of the nature of, people traveling for holidays. So we hadn't actually hit 100 episodes, but I worked it out and it was going to be next Thursday. However, then life got in the way and we didn't do an episode last week. So this is currently our 98th episode, not our 99th. So
I think that's still respectable.
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
all I'm saying.
Are we counting the charity appearances?
Oh, no, it's just actual threefold talk.
All
Although I did count 3 wolf talk, and I did count when
Count the Mirrorverse.
The Mirrorverse episode.
All
Yes,
counts. They were all us.
Yep, it was us
Exactly.
the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I make a
yeah.
really good. What's your favorite meat?
Okay, I have the scene that Thor mentioned for us, so we listen carefully about the 2 voices that Thor mentioned because I had to go back and pick up on this, and then we have some dreams that we've been sent that we can that One Shelly is going to interpret before she enters the dream world herself. So,
And a book review.
yes.
I can't hear anything.
Yeah. No sound.
Did you catch that?
No.
No
Nope.
sound.
No sound.
There was no sound.
No
Nope.
sound.
No sound.
Right, 1 second. I shared sound on that, so I don't know why it didn't share sound.
Kev, we do need a 3 Kev talk.
Yeah.
We do.
We
need
totally
a 3
do.
talk. You guys have to plan that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think the Kevs need to plan it and just tell us when.
Yes.
Yeah, this is true.
That's the thing. That's how these work, guys. It's
Yeah.
when we don't do a show and you
Right.
do.
Alrighty, thanks for the decision.
Can you hear this?
You made it
Yes.
before you have a
Yes.
match.
Okay.
I won't live in your cage.
Wait, play it again.
That is different.
I won't live in your cage. You
I'll
made
do
it.
it one more time.
Oh shit! Go back to when he was first talking.
I'm
Yeah,
not
go.
convinced that that's a different voice than more than just an effect.
No, but
I mean-
he does like the Christian Bale Batman thing.
Yeah, I think they did an effect on his voice, but it doesn't sound like 2 voices to
Oh
me.
no, it's his voice, I think, but I think he just did like because again, Christian Bale Batman is like when he's Bruce Wayne, it's his actual voice, and when he does Batman, it's his actual voice. So there's no modulation on that. So I think he just did whatever Yosha's version of lose
Batman? Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
Batman lose
Bat
therein.
loose.
Bat lose batty lose batty lose.
At least. Okay.
Uh,
No, you know what it actually was? You remember those microphones, the plastic ones you got as a kid?
yes,
Yeah, it was like one of those echo microphones from when you were a kid.
it was like T-Pain microphone, like the microphone that does the
Yeah.
vocalizing stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
an auto-tune mic.
Auto-tune. I won't live in your cage.
Silvertooth's like, I think it was deeper the first time. Nerdy Guns is Iris says amplified. Ashkower says a little deeper.
Yeah,
Louis
it's
Jr. says big
it's
echo
the
voice.
reverb. Yeah, that's what I think it is. They put a
Interesting
reverb
mix.
on it.
Interesting
Yeah.
mix.
Yeah.
Do we want? Thanks to Ashkova, she put the description or the how to find it in chat. So thank you, Ashkova, for that. Do you want to watch the creating hand talk short that's in the behind the scenes bit? It's 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Or do we want to move over to dreams?
Let's keep
let's do a
going. Let's keep
poll.
going.
Let's
I know Shelly wants to go to bed early, so
Yeah,
You
and
guys do what you
do it at the end.
Always.
yeah, we can do it.
Yeah, we can always do it later. Yeah. So let's move on to
Yeah.
some dreams, folks. Unless you would like to do your book first, Shelley. You tell me what you prefer.
Let's do dreams then book.
You're gonna
Dreams,
do
then
your
book.
book.
All right. We don't have a book intro. I've never.
Who's
Sorry,
in-
dream
who's-
intro. I've never made a dream intro, have
I
I?
was an e-reader, so it's kind of hard to do.
We say that every time, don't we?
We do say that every time. Yeah.
Lick it.
So we should change the music. Some night driving.
We can make our own dream thing. It's like, well, hello there.
Yeah.
This is why you don't.
Are we
use the
vamping
phone.
right now? Okay, so I used to get obsessed with books and stay up all night and read them.
Mhm.
Now what I do is I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and turn on an audiobook. That will help me go back to sleep. It's usually Michael Kramer that like, talks me back to sleep. When I can't sleep, I turn him on. I mean, I
both
turn
of them.
the book on. I don't turn on Michael Kramer.
I'm not gonna lie. That's how when I have problems sleeping, I put on either one of the Wheel of Time books or one of the Stormlight books. And I just set a timer because I always want to go back and know where I was, so I don't want it to go too long. But yeah, definitely.
Michael
Kate
Kramer
and Michael's voices.
helps me go to sleep.
Both of them.
Isn't ADHD so weird though? Because like, I swear to God, I'm like a butterfly, squirrel, all that sort of thing. But a book, like I said, I lose 2-3 hours, and I'm just like, okay, there it is. And yeah, Wheel of Time was always bad for that. I still remember when the last Wheel of Time book came out. I was married at the time, and I told my husband at the time, "You will not have me for 48 hours."
Yeah, I mean, same.
Yeah, I will be eating, going to the bathroom if I have to, and sleeping only when necessary until I am done this book. And I still remember how tired I was reading those damn last pages, but I did not care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost wish I had taken a break. Like I should have taken a break to like savor it, but I couldn't, and I needed to read it all right now.
Yep.
Yeah. The guy I was dating at the time knew that, especially when those books came out, that I would like. He just made food and like had it available for me, and I would just like get up and go to the bathroom and then sit back in the chair, and I would just shovel whatever. It needed to be one-handed food, like nothing I need to like. And like just like one-handed
sushi
food.
Wraps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hand
and
rolls.
so that's what I would do for.
Like this.
Well, and then the worst one was when the last Harry Potter book came out. You know, the author that we shall not name. But I was on deployment, and the book kept chasing me around, like from port to port, and it was like always like 2 ports behind. They couldn't. So finally, we're in Singapore.
Like
I was
you
like,
ordered it and it hadn't arrived yet. Is that
so
what
in
you're saying?
Singapore, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I already bought it. It's already coming to me. I need it right now. And then I took the rest. Like I had leave. I didn't leave the ship. I just sat in my rack. Who the fuck does that when you're like on these long deployments? I just sat in my rack and read, and then like and like told people not to fucking bother me.
Love it. Amazing. Yeah. That's how I read for sure.
Dream time?
Sure.
Let's go. Yeah.
Okay. Shelly, you have a choice between Smuggler, Dinner with Egwene, Demons, Trouble at Disney, or Digital World.
Oh wow, that's a lot of D's.
The last two, yes, the last two are the longer ones.
Dopey and daft.
Not complaining a lot.
Yeah. Let's do a long D first.
A long D first. Okay.
Yeah, and then we can move to like maybe like a girthier D that's not quite as long.
Okay. Yeah. Love that. Perfect.
She's
So we're gonna kick
talking
it off,
about the
folks.
length of the dream, guys, not anything else. Let's be clear.
So I had a dream that my warder and I were at Disneyland, and he got detained by Disney police for something minor. I don't know what. While we were at the police station, I was playing video games with a random little girl on an old video game controller that had bits of food stuck in the power adapter, but it was still able to charge my phone. He was joking around with the officers and told them he was Russian and worked for Pavel, which is apparently code for the Russian military. They put us in a 15-passenger van and took us on a many-hour drive to a jail with a bunch of other people who were arrested and their kids. I didn't think it was that serious until we got to the jail and they booked him and told me it would be months before he had a trial, but I could bail him out in 2 days for $200,000. I didn't have that kind of money and didn't know what to do and needed to get home for the kids, so I found a secret way out of the jail through a shopping mall bank and got to the street to find tons of buses set to go all over the place, but not my home. There was a nice older lady with an accent who said she bought me a ticket to Austin on a bus that hosted crafting and board games while you traveled because she knew I liked that. So I got on the bus.
was my dream. I just can't even like what the fuck?
Oh, Lord.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Very appropriate, Long D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say, here's the thing about a dream about prison, right? Is there something in your real life that's making you feel kind of trapped or, confined or something like that? So dreams about prison are often kind of like that. Like you always think about the metaphors, and you're there with your kid. Is there something you both feel trapped in? Is there something you feel you're trapping your kid in? They're trapping you in? Is there a conversation that needs to happen there? I think the fact that your escape was like crafting in board games is kind of nice. It means like, you've maybe found a way in real life to spend some quality time with yourself.
I mean,
crafting in board games.
Every other day, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I would love to know what dream people think Disneyland means in dreams. Because I've never been to Disneyland. I have no idea what it's like.
Me neither.
But
and that's one thing I picked up on was because Disneyland is what everybody calls like their happiest. So many people, not everybody. People who have gone there, many people call it their happiest place. So that's where it started. And Mal, I know like you've been to Disney before, like, and I know you talk positively about it. So for me, that was interesting where it started. Where's this happy place? So sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but continue, please.
No, it's okay. What does Disneyland mean to you would be my question.
To me, yeah, good question. Like, yeah, I could imagine mine in real life, Matt Cawthon's like 20th anniversary is coming up. And I've kind of like been in my head about like what we should do like to commemorate that. So I could imagine that potentially like in my dreaming of Long D's, like that could be a place that I would interpret, could be a place that we might use as a like a symbolic like celebration of that relationship. So it could be just like we're in a really good place and doing something that's really like celebratory, and then it all comes crashing and burning into chaos land.
Well, I've done some brief Googling, and then once we finish this stream, by the way, I keep forgetting, I'm terrible with this, we should get better, should say goodbye to Twitter. But I did a brief bit of Googling, and apparently when you dream of places like Disneyland, it is because you're dreaming of, your dreams are filled with nostalgia. Nostalgia and feelings of happiness. So that is often...
Well, I think that's very specific if Disney is a nostalgia place for you. So like Shelly probably would never dream of Disney because she's literally never been there. Whereas, I grew up in Florida and go back, like went there multiple times every year. I've been back as much as I can as an adult.
That is really interesting because I have been to Disney at a lot of, like, not a lot, but I've been to Disney at different stages of my life. Like I went once as a child, I went once as a teenager, I went once with a young baby, and then I went literally just like less than a year ago. I went to celebrate my kid's birthday, but so I mean, I haven't gone a lot, but it is a place that I've gone and maybe associate with significant milestones.
It does add some context is the only word I'm going here, and that's not right. Some extra points to it. It said it is important to note that it may vary depending on specific details and emotions present. So, for example, if you feel overwhelmed or stressed during your visit, then the feelings of nostalgia and happiness necessarily do not apply. So it depends how you felt prior to the arrest, I suppose. But you said you didn't feel stressed until you got there, and it was like actually he's been getting seen for months. So it seemed like pretty good. A desire for adventure or excitement is a possibility. And obviously, if you are feeling like, If you're feeling unresolved about things that are currently happening in your life, it could be just issues with growing up and adult responsibilities. But this sounds like the way you described it, more like happiness and nostalgia, I would say.
Yeah.
To start off with, that's where she entered.
Yeah, from there, yeah. So, and
then
maybe it's the
just,
pressures
like,
of like
ripped her away.
Maybe it's the pressures of planning, you know, or like thinking what should we do for our 20th. You know, maybe it's that.
Yeah, maybe.
You know?
Yeah, maybe.
Or other life things that are going on. There's a lot of stuff in the world because it was a lot about your family. So like kids' lives can be stressful. And
no, our foot is fine.
Okay. Is it time for a girthier D now?
Yeah, shorter and girthier.
Shorter and girthier. All right, we're going to kick it off with Demon. A dream about demons. I had a dream that a bunch of us got caught in some plot to raise a demon. It was really weird, but I had jewelry stuff in my bag, so it was messy, and they couldn't see the tracking device we had hid in there to be saved. We then managed to escape, but we had to run fast, and we hid the bloody remains of the demon in a box after we left on a train. So,
can I say before we start the analysis, can I use this as a D&D prompt? Whoever sent that, just let me know if I can use this as a D&D prompt.
Can you put it up one more time for me?
Sure.
And the us in the context is the fandom.
Yeah.
So people in the fandom. Yeah.
How did you do that?
Yeah. I had a dream that a bunch of people in the fandom, got caught in some plot to raise a demon. It was really weird, but I have jewelry stuff in my bag, and so it was messy, and they couldn't see the tracking device we had hid in there to be saved. We then managed to escape, but we had to run fast, and we hid the bloody remains of the demon in a box after we left on a train.
Okay. That's So, I mean, people who've listened to this segment before will say I often know about, like, the method of transportation is kind of always interesting to me. And, like, trains are always, you know, they're on one track. They're very straight. They don't really go a lot of places. They aren't necessarily a lot of freedom. There's almost something about being confined with them. That's always super interesting. Demons, like... Demons are kind of an interesting thing because they have such culturally specific meanings. So like someone like me who was raised in a very evangelical Christian church, a demon is like a very real thing that like, oh, you know, you feel this, you summon this, you blah, blah, blah. Whereas someone who wasn't raised in a very Christian church might be like, oh, I'm fighting my personal demons in this. So what are the personal demons that I would say you're relying on the community to kind of help you fight if you're summoning it with the community? The other thing about the jewelry, you know, I'd want to know more about like what the jewelry was, because jewelry can be like symbol of wealth. It can be symbol of like meaning, because a lot of jewelry, like, you know, the necklace from your grandmother or your engagement wedding ring, like can have meaning, or it can be like protection, you know, because you have your cross if you're fighting demons or that sort of thing. So I'd be curious to see what kind of jewelry was in the dream, because it can mean a whole bunch of things.
I do have a little more context for that. This particular person is a jewelry maker. So my guess is that the jewelry stuff they were referring to was like tools for making jewelry.
Interesting.
Interesting.
So is your work something, again, that you kind of feel like you're going this way on and don't necessarily have a lot of room to move, being stuck on the train? And is the demon something that you're like, you know, are you trying to fight something in your work? Are you like feeling a little out of sorts with your work? Be curious about that.
Interesting. Love it. Interesting.
Well, I love the detail that Mel gave in, that the community, the Wheel of Time community, was the we. So obviously we're the I'm just had a whole bunch of analogies, and then just the Cassidy kid, the Sundance cat. Who's the cowboy? Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Okay, right.
Yeah, so see, I made them a celebrity name.
Mayhem. It's coming in. Teamwork make the demon twerk. Oh my god.
I love that so much. I want
love
it on
that.
a shirt, Mayhem.
Yeah, I love when I read this. Immediately, Mayhem's like, Rob, who else rides trains? I'm like, this was not me, thank you.
I'm going on a train tomorrow.
Yeah, there we go.
I ride the metro all the time.
There we go. So another. This is a little bit longer, but still not. Still a bit girthy. We're going to talk dinner with Egwene now.
Okay.
I had a dream that Maddie came to my house. We had Chinese food and watched episode 7 of Wheel of Time. She told me secret things about season 3, and I said I wouldn't tell her secrets. And now that is true because I cannot remember what she said in the dream.
Nice. Okay. I mean, I feel like this is actually a little bit straightforward, because when other people are in your dreams, especially when they tell you a secret or interact with you in a way, it's often like, what do you see in them that you appreciate or like? So here you have like a confidant kind of friend relationship going with Maddie. So it's like, what about her is it that you like? And kind of lean into that part of yourself. Is it like, she's hardworking? Is it she's successful? Is it she's an activist? Is it that she's really funny? Like, what are those qualities of Madeline Madden that you really like? And, she's telling you those secrets. That means it's like a confidant. So you should like lean into that part of yourself a little bit more.
Nice.
Ooh, that's lovely.
That is lovely. Yeah. I mean, it sounded like aside from forgetting what was said, it sounds like a lovely dream anyway.
Yeah.
But that makes it even more lovely. So, Silvertooth is about to ride the night train, and by that he means good night. So, love, water, and shade, y'all. Good night, Silvertooth.
Silvertooth.
Good night, Silvertooth.
Silvertooth, you're coming over this weekend, right? And we're watching it together, so I can like give you another bruise on your knee.
I have witnessed Roof Mistress Leigh-A watching an episode of Wheel of Time. It's an adventure. So I saw her
Poor
watch
Laura and poor Silvertooth. They've both been physically abused.
Yeah. Indeed. Okay. Shall we size it up and then finish with the big one, or do you want to tackle the big one now?
I'm confused about my options, so just pick one.
Well, we have one that's a bit bigger and then one that's very long.
Oh.
Gotcha. Let's get the very long one.
All right, we'll just get that out of the way. Okay, so this is the digital world. So bear with us, folks. It's going to take a hot second. It starts off where I'm following a group of folks who are in charge of this world inside the digital environment we all live in. I follow them to the radio station where they broadcast their propaganda and sneak in by changing myself into a pet cat. In the studio, I manage to get close to headphones to listen, but they have a surprise guest. I talk to the guest, saying to use my headphones, and give myself away. I run back through the city, leaping around almost like I can fly, and avoid the bad guys by hiding inside the stairwell to a giant slide that is so snug it's almost claustrophobic. I get out of the slide and head back to my friends. As I get back, a giant klaxon goes off saying everyone has been released. I learn at this point we're all prisoners for some reason. And that our world has been abandoned by the folks who run it. We have a day to vote for 5 of the prisoners to be our leaders. They'll have the power to control the world and run our society, but not leave. If we can't work out to vote for 5, the whole place will be destroyed. I chase down the members of my cell who are solving puzzles to find a way out. I know they're close because they're finding real food from the real world somehow. And I go to visit my closest friend's sister, who refuses to leave with us, to tell them we're getting out and to say goodbye on behalf of all of us. They've been like a secret base for us. I head back to the lobby to see my friends and bump into Maria Simmons, who is watching it all. She has the ultimate power in this digital world, can never die, be anything or anywhere she wants, and so on. And she's watching our progress to see if we can get out. The other people in this world are just looting and killing each other, basically. I ask her what it's like to have that power and see everything. She says she doesn't know why the creator gave her those abilities, but she hopes others can be like us and not give up hope. She then gives me a clue, and I wake up as a result. It's a long-ass dream, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, Melindhra, actually, I don't think you're 100% wrong about that. So I'll go high level. Like I said before, look at the people in their dreams and what they represent to you, and the relationship with them. So Maria's the one that stuck in my head last, and she's got kind of this like godlike position. So
that is what was described in the dream, yes.
Yeah, she's on a pedestal. You really respect her. What are the things about her you respect? And like, what is that trying to tell you about yourself? The other highlight is cats in dreams often represent intuition. And so I like the fact that in your dream, when something goes wrong, you can turn into a cat, because it's like, oh, you're really leaning into your intuition. It's like, oh, you trust your intuition, you follow it, it helps you. So I think that's probably a good sign. That's about all I'm going to be able to say about that.
There was a lot there.
When we got this stream, there was a lot in it. We were like, wow.
Wow.
But I'll say those two things. Look at the people, and congratulations that you trust your intuition enough to turn into a cat.
Nice. That's fair.
Love it.
Now,
love it.
To be
love
fair,
it.
when I was putting that together and I was typing that out, I was like, good luck, Shelly. I really don't know what you're going to make of this. So it's so much more than I thought you might make of that. So kudos. Yeah, very long dream. It took 2 pages to display. We're going to finish it off with dreams of smuggling.
Ooh.
I was a smuggler and everything was going to plan. But someone on the team got spotted, and I stayed behind to help them to safety. Unfortunately, that got me spotted, and I was driving a small semi and ran the police off the road. I made it back to the hideout, but I came in hot. So they had me in a secret compartment that had a map on the wall with tiny holes I could look through to see what was happening. Then the alarm went off, and I wasn't sure where I was. And I believe that means that they woke up.
Okay, so smuggling. What are you hiding from yourself? Or what are you hiding from someone else important in your life is the question I would ask if you're having to smuggle something around instead of just carrying it openly. Police in dreams often are like your consciousness, like your conscience, your rules, your super ego, that sort of thing. So is there some self-reflection, I'd say, that this person has to do about something that they're doing that maybe they're not proud of, and their ego in their brain's kind of saying, maybe we need to rethink this path that we're going down.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. Sorry, that one's not necessarily a happy one, but I mean, hey, it could be something as simple as like you're sharing a Netflix password. Like,
yeah, that's something you can't do anymore, apparently. So yeah, that's a fair point. It could be something very innocuous.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Love it. And there was a fun mix of dreams. It's been a while since we did dreams. So
a lot of really interesting insights for sure.
I agree. I love this.
Well, and
Shelly,
if you guys have dreams, keep sending them in.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We do keep a database.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I mean, like the one that I sent in all of its glory, I literally just like woke up and typed it out and sent it to everybody, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
But I've done that. Exactly. I've done that sometimes. Yeah, but they wake up like 5 hours after I've gotten up, and they like, "Rob, what the fuck did you type in our chat?" Because I'm like, I remember this one. I'm going to type it out. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So feel free to send us your dreams. Like you could do it on if you
You're
want
like sleepy
you could do it on public or just DM one of us or the threefold accounts, and we'll add it to our database.
Yeah. So like Iris is saying, instead of email, there is not a specific dream email, but you can send it to us on Discord. Any one of the 5 of us, you can send it to us on
Twitter.
And you can send it to us direct on Twitter if you wanted to, or you can send it to the threefold Twitter account. It's probably easier the threefold Twitter account, but it's okay if you feel more comfortable DMing one of us that you already know.
Exactly.
In this case, but if you don't, and you're like, oh, just the Twitter account's good. If you really don't like those options, folks, it's not going to work for you because you're like, I'm not on Twitter or anything like that, which is totally fine. It's totally fair. You can send it to my email address, malkiertalks@gmail.com. I will feed it on to the ladies so we can get it put into the database of dreams. So, and Crystal is saying, like, kind of wish I remember my dreams. And Penny's saying, I forget my dreams after about 5 minutes after I wake up. Now, Penny, I have a tip for this. So there are 2 types of dreams that I always remember pretty vividly. And that's usually dreams that involve a lot of jumping or flying. And they usually merge into one another. When I have those sorts of dreams, they're very easy for me to remember because I can usually turn those into lucid dreaming. But I found the secret, and I do this mostly to not drive my co-stars crazy, but to see them laugh at me. If I wake up and I've had a vivid dream and I remember it in that second, I grab my phone and I immediately just start to type it out. Okay, and I put it in the chat for them, and then they wake up and they'd be like, "Rob, you're a crazy cat of kittens there." So
they're
we love
so
him.
much fun.
We love him, and we love
so
his
much
insane
fun.
dreams.
And I've done that a couple of times. I remember the one time I had a dream. Like, there's no analysis of this necessary. It was well before season 2 release date came out, and we were in some sort of major convention, and we were talking with the Wheel of Time Amazon Prime folks, and they're like, earlier in the dream, we were supposed to submit raffles to be characters in the Wheel of Time, and then they were going to announce it during this convention. And then they came up to us and like, you guys don't even need it, because Grace is going to be one of the Bain&Chiads, and Mal, you're going to be obviously Melindhra, but I couldn't find either of you guys, and they told me, and I had to find you guys. Be like, you need to go on stage for this announcement. And the rest of my dream was running around this like weird convention talking to people, being like, you guys are going to be on the show, but I need to find you so you can get the announcement. That's an easy dream to interpret. Not worth this segment.
It was worth it for you to explain it to us so that we
but it needed to be explained at some point, because in my dreams you guys were Bain&Chiad both and Melindhra. So
but yeah, folks, if you wake up, just type it down on your phone in a notes folder. Have a pen and a pad of paper next to your bed or something, and just write it down as soon as you wake up. Like, make it like one of the first things you do, pretty much, because I have crazy dreams more nights than not, and moments after I wake up, they tend to fade away if they haven't already disappeared straight away. So it's just weird that the ones about flying or jumping tend to stick in my head longer. But yeah, as soon as I wake up and I can remember the dream and I'm like, I'm going to write that down, I usually just put it in the chat for the ladies to laugh at when they get up later. So yeah, just do that, folks, if you want to be able to try and remember your dreams, just for your own edification. You don't have to do it. You don't have to send it to us. We would love to hear dreams. We talk about them anonymously typically. But yeah, go.
The only reason we don't do this more is because we don't have that many.
Yeah, just more dreams, folks. Yeah. So
like, we do stockpile them, and then when we decide to do it, it's kind of last minute, and like you said, nobody remembers your dreams at the last minute.
Yeah, and it actually was interesting because, like, at the beginning of COVID, I was talking to my therapist, and she's big into like dream discussion, and apparently everyone was having dreams about bugs. It's like all over the world, people were having dreams about bugs when COVID was coming up, and it was just like super freaky. I was like, what? That's kind of bonkers. So I don't know. Like, I'm a skeptic about this stuff, but I think it's fun.
Yeah.
Mayhem also suggests a voice memo can work well for a dream journal. That's a good idea. Yeah, use the voice recorder on your phone. That's a great feature. So
good call, Mayhem.
I find that when I write, I don't know if you guys find this, but when I write down a dream, I try to make it make more sense as I'm writing it out than it actually does. Like, I tried to connect some through lines that maybe I didn't connect while I was dreaming, and I have to like consciously hold myself back from like, no, that doesn't make sense. I can't write that.
From
like,
editing.
Editing, like, I self-edit the dreams to be like, oh, well, clearly I keep hitting my mic today. Clearly this means this. So then I should write it that way. Yeah.
That's fair.
It's tricky.
All right. Before we wrap up the episode with more Maiden Hand talk, Wise One Shelly has put something together for us today. So let me whip out that intro that we don't get out very often. It is Reading Rainbow. It's so cute. I love that.
So relaxing.
I feel like I need to change the music now as well.
I mean, it's up to you.
Regular music.
I can never hear the music, so it's a moot point to me.
Oh,
It's a cow's opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
fair. All right. Well,
The point is moot.
take it away, Shelley. Tell us
All right.
about Reading Rainbow.
You want to throw out the cover?
I will indeed.
So, anyone who knows me for a period of time eventually finds out that I am a massive fan of John Scalzi. So this is his most recent novel, Starter Villain. Managed to get a copy from the library, and I will say, you need this book. It's super fun. Like, first of all, there are cats who can type. That will be the thing I will tell you first.
I was going to say a cat in a tuxedo on the cover was drawing me in, to be honest, but the cat can type? Okay.
Yeah, there are sentient spy cats and dolphins who want to unionize and
They should.
a collection of villains that actually live on a volcano island. It's a really well-paced novel. It's a lot of fun. It is not heavy at all. Those of us who are a little mad at the billionaires in the world will get some like beautiful revenge in it. Literally, rich get eaten, which is great.
Like literally eaten?
Literally eaten. It's wonderful. And the main character is like kind of believable. Like he's just believable. It's a funny book. It's a hilarious read. It's a really well-paced book. I couldn't put it down. It's typical John Scalzi humor, which is quite quick-witted with a little bit of absurdity. And I think everyone's going to enjoy it. Basically, the premise is nobody guy is having a really rough go, finds out his billionaire uncle has died and left him his business. But his business isn't as above board as you think it's going to be. And it's all about this guy trying to figure out how to navigate this new business world in these not quite so ethical businesses. And it is great. It's a lot of fun. I recommend
timely novel.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I just recommend, like, I love John Scalzi. Old Man's War is like one of my favorite book series. It's much more philosophical than this. This is very much more in the style of Kaiju Preservation Society or Red Shirts. If you read more of his books, highly recommend this book. Everyone, if you need something light, something that you're just not going to be able to put down, like your vacation read, this is the book.
Okay. I'm going to throw it back on screen for a second. There it is, folks. Starter Villain by John Scalzi. Meet the New Boss, which is a very serious looking cat in a tuxedo. Well, a shirt and tie and a jacket. So, yeah.
So, Shelley, this is a one-off, like just a
It's
single
a one-off.
book. There's
I think I read the whole book in a total of 4 hours or 4.5 hours. Like it just was
Nice.
easy, fun read, not too dense, not too long. Yeah.
Love that.
Oh, and this is the other thing. It's actually like a good plot twist mystery at the end as well.
Oh, brilliant.
It's a thinker too. I think you'll really like it.
Love that. Perfect.
And I love that Mayhem put in chat that Will Wheaton does most of this author's audiobooks. So for those of us Star Trek nerds who love Will Wheaton to the end of time, even though West Pressure was a shit character.
I really love Will Wheaton. I just is not my thing as an audiobook narrator. I literally couldn't finish Ready Player One because of listening to him narrate it.
That might have been Ready Player One because that was actually a terrible book.
I've read it. I've read it. It's not a very. I mean, the movie is far better. It's not a great book.
But that's such a low bar to get over.
Okay.
I've actually read Ready Player 2 as well, and it.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think it was a critique of the book. I find his voice very distinctive and therefore very distracting, and then it takes me out of the story I'm supposed to.
So should I narrate Ready Player 1 and then send it to you? Is that what you're saying?
Ooh.
Yes.
Why would you put yourself through that?
Yes, because his voice is hot.
But then narrate a good book.
That's true. I mean, probably a better choice.
Should I narrate? I've already forgotten the name of it. Which
Cat Tuxedo.
Cat Tuxedo. Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, Shelly, could you choose like a passage maybe for Rob to narrate? I don't know if that's too difficult to go back.
I gave it back to the library already, but
we'll figure it out. We'll figure something out. Have some fun with it. So, but yeah,
that's all good.
Give that a try, folks. So,
but yeah, and tell me in the comments below what you thought of the dream interpretation, and if you're a John Scalzi fan, what your favorite John Scalzi book is. I want to know.
And if you're a fan of Ready Player One, let us know why you're wrong. No, I actually love the concept of Ready Player One. I liked what they changed for the film because it enhanced the story because there was just some things in the books that it gets a bit good. I don't know.
So you're saying it's a good adaptation. You're able to do good adaptations, is what you're saying?
Yes. Use a cat accent, Patrick. Are you asking me to purr? Basically, is that what you're saying?
I mean, if you're asking.
Yes, please.
I'm not gonna purr on screen right now. No, I'm ill prepared.
You need to like.
Rob, I believe you mean right meow.
Yes, I am ill prepared to purr right now. I only purr when my stomach is being scratched. So.
Noted.
Kayla, where are you?
All right. That's all I got. Just one book, but I think
that's amazing. Thank you for the recommendation. I don't necessarily think I've read any John Scalzi, so now I have not to investigate.
Oh, no. Okay, so Leigh-A, you would fucking love John Scalzi. Like,
oh God.
Literally, like, okay, I'll go to Old Man's War for 1 second. The premise of Old Man's War blew my mind, where it's basically you turn 70 and you join the military and you get a new body.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, and the whole thing is like, I love it because it's this like there's the story itself is really good, but then there's also this whole philosophical thing. Are you yourself when your consciousness has been transferred to a new body?
I realized I need to start a spreadsheet of all these recommendations I see because there's so many channels that have like amazing
I need to start reading
book
books
recommendations.
more, you know.
Yeah, well, and I go
other than Wheel of Time over and over again.
Like I know.
I'm still struggling to get through Stormlight, to be honest. Like I keep trying, and I'm like,
sorry, Leigh-A. Sorry.
Someone give me the cliff notes.
I'm a little grumpy. I'm grumpy at Rob right now about the Stormlight, but that is a discussion for another time.
I find Stormlight hard.
We will talk about that after we finish this show. Anyways, but there's this amazing secondhand store that I go to that has like cheap books. Also, in DC, there's these like little libraries where you can just pick out books for free. And I see things and I'm like, I feel like I might have seen that name, but I don't remember if it was good or bad and what the recommendations were. So I just need to start a spreadsheet with all the recommendations that I see in the various Discord channels. And then I know like what I can want to pick up and can pick up. Because
we've got
I literally rebought a book that I'd already picked up for free.
Nice.
The other day at the second, it was like $5, whatever. But fuck, I already had it.
We've had an interesting comment put in chat from Capsalot. There is a place online where you can contribute your dreams to a global project to help predict disasters such as asteroid impacts.
That is so cool. Do you think Disneyland and jail and board game buses would help predict this? Because I will submit this dream.
Smuggling something. What else do we have? Maria Simmons is the creator. You can turn into a cat. Dinner with a Gwaine. Dinner with a TV star will help predict that.
I think so. All of them will clearly.
Summoning a demon and then killing it before you get on a train. So
I mean, I have bad news about the asteroid. We also have telescopes.
Damn it.
But I mean, Bruce Willis is going to go up and blow it up.
Yes. There we go.
And Ben Affleck is going to stay behind.
Yeah, and the physics of that totally makes sense.
And then we're gonna have a terrible, shitty love song that I'm stuck listening to for the rest of my life on adult contemporary radio.
Don't wanna close my eyes. I don't wanna fall
asleep because
I'll miss you, babe.
And I don't wanna miss a thing. Cause even when I dream of you.
What's the next words?
There we go. So,
Thank you,
Shelly, it's now just the two of us.
Gotcha.
Yep. I muted them. Because I have the power, they can't unmute themselves. So, thank you, Shelly, for your book recommendation. I do appreciate it.
You're welcome. I'm sorry it led to that, though.
Look who has the power. I hate you. You're the worst.
We'll unmute.
And I don't want to miss.
No, okay, we'll mute Leigh-A again. So, are you good now?
All right.
All right, folks, let's round it out by...
Here's some maiden hand talk for you.
You see what happens, folks, from the shows on, we just...
Let's talk about Bain&Chiad a little bit.
Yeah, let's talk about maiden hand talk. So we've done your dreams. I'll bring this back on. There should be sound of this, I believe.
The long and the girthy.
Can you hear that?
Yes.
Yay! I have not watched this, so we'll watch this and have some fun. I should probably turn off the regular music as well.
We've got 2 made-up languages in the show this season. Old Tongue, which you saw in season 1, as well as the Aiel hand talk. We've brought on board a wonderful deaf actor and presenter and comedian called Gavin Lilly. Also, we have an interpreter, Tim. So the 3 of us worked together. We sat down in a room and we went, let's make a sign language. My role was more in providing stuff from the world. For example, the Aiel live in a desert, and we were thinking about the sign for water. And a lot of the signs that Gavin was suggesting had like a downward motion to it. And then I just sort of threw in that for the Aiel, they don't have a lot of rain. And it's kind of a strange concept, water falling from the sky. So to them, water might be more of something that comes up from the ground. So our sign for water is this in Aiel handle.
The Aiel are very militaristic. I mean, they're using spears, bows, shields, all of those things. So first thing we thought of was, how do we teach them to use hand talk at the same time? Because it's kind of a barrier. You can't really use both your hands. So we decided to focus more on signing with one hand when they're in a militaristic or a battle militaristic situation, or a battle where they can see, they can scout. So they use one hand how to move around so they can still hold the weapons, still be on guard.
We started from the military signs, and then we expanded them into conversational signs. And a lot of the conversational signs get the other hand involved because there are 2 sides to the language. One side is actually functional for a war situation, and the other side is when you're just trying to slag someone off behind their back.
Just like Leigh-A said!
Yes!
Once we had the sign language, we did a workshop with Bain&Chiad and Avienda. And one of the goals of the session was for them to feel like they could use their hands as a communication tool. So when we speak, we use a hand as like a supportive communication tool, but using your hand entirely to communicate feels very different. So we wanted the session to be a little bit like a language learning situation. So that's why we were playing games, because each of the games had a different goal, whether it was to work on their peripheral vision so they could understand what it feels like to notice someone speaking to them at the corner of their eye, or whether it was to play around with the different ways of expressing different feelings with the same hand gesture. Try it with less words. So instead of the like, I don't know him, you could just be like, just give us it in a yes. So the answer is you do like him. So but give us all that nuance with your acting and the yeah.
We've only got like 2 or 3 weeks to work with them. So it's a lot of practice, a lot of training, a lot of rehearsing for their body language. Really had to change the way they think about language. Sign language is not word, word, word. It's not a linear language. It's a visual, spatial structure. And the actresses were wonderful. Their job was amazing. They developed this very well. It's beautiful, I think.
Wow. Wow.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
That's
answered
so
a lot of the
cool.
questions.
Well,
I love. Go ahead.
So no. Go ahead.
I love they did a workshop where they just started
Mm-hmm.
signing to each other and like seeing if it worked, which actually like helped with the language development. I'm sure. I can only imagine.
And I love that they practiced with spears in their hands so they could feel what it feels like to try and communicate while holding a very important long
And they only
weapon.
had 2 to 3 weeks to do this. Also, I'm sure in those 2 to 3 weeks they were probably doing a lot of like the combat training.
Yeah,
So,
you're
yes.
probably right. Yeah. That's amazing. Like
these
I
ladies are
love that
badass.
that much time and dedication was given to something like that hopefully we get more of, right? In season 3, but they set it up in advance of season 2 so that they could use elements of it as we get started, and I'm sure that we'll see more of it as we go along. But
And also the dynamic conversation that happened between the linguist and the Wheel of Time expert and the person that they hired who is fluent in sign language. So like rain comes down, like that's normally a sign of water, and like the conversation that the Aiel wouldn't know about rain, but they would know about like springs. So like doing the same motion but from a different direction.
that's really cool.
That's amazing.
So much interesting color.
Yeah.
And like reinterpreting that.
I agree.
I
I hope we
I
get I hope we get more hand talk, but with like translation on the screen.
Yeah, that's
for some of
something.
it.
Yeah, because we didn't get the full translation of everything
All we
they
got was
said
water,
during
like,
season
half,
1.
yeah.
We got. Yeah,
Well,
we
did
just got that
she do
one
this?
line.
Did she do this?
She went like
Water?
this. She went like this.
Yeah, she went water everywhere. Yeah.
Or
Well,
what-
and that's
how.
like so. It's a
Like how,
combination of
yeah.
a like if this is what water is, if this means like it might mean water everywhere, like the combination of the gesture.
Yeah, but they
Because she
didn't-
she did a combination gesture, and I meant to go back and look at it.
I can imagine that they would have not necessarily wanted to translate it initially because we were seeing it from parents' perspective, right? We were seeing parents seeing this for the first time and not knowing what they were saying, so they didn't want to give us all the information. But
and
then
it's very intimate. I don't think that they're
Yeah.
ever going to give us the full translation, only when it's important to the Wetlanders.
Yeah, that's why I said more rather than like translate everything, because
Yeah.
yes, but I think to
and until they want to teach everyone, and then threefold talk can just have classes.
No, but I think especially with the importance
Layers.
of what that initial conversation was, right? Was a very important cultural conversation that then resulted in Avienda getting a beat down. Without the context of understanding like what they were saying to each other beforehand. I don't know. I mean, they obviously translated it afterwards in her conversation with Perrin, but like I mean, you wouldn't have gotten the significance of what they were doing with their hands.
They gave context to it. They didn't translate. So I'm sure there was a lot more like, well, some of it's, are you ready? Like one thing that they're probably saying is, are you ready to meet your toe? And Avienda says yes. And then they, Bain&Chiad simultaneously throw down their spears. So like, we book readers can kind of contextualize what they probably said.
Right. But I feel like the show watchers, I think the show is trying to do a good job of making the show accessible for people who haven't read the books. And I feel like in that particular scene, they didn't set the show watchers up well enough with supporting information.
So they didn't beforehand, but they gave them information afterwards.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's true. All right, I think it's about time to leave it there, folks. I hope you've had fun with us today, interpreting your dreams and talking about maiden hand talk and just catching up, because we missed a week, so we like to catch up and chit chat with you all and hang out. This is a community here, folks. It's not just us on screen. There's you in chat there as well. So, and those of you who can't watch live but watch back later, we love you as well. Throw your comments in and your dreams and things like that. So, yeah. Anything you want to add, ladies, before we sign off for the evening? Next week we'll be back on Thursday night, folks. I will not necessarily be here, likely not be here. I am fast riding away for one of my friends, Lady Bradlereef, for their partner, and they are completing the ceremony next week, and I am fast riding off to join them for that. So I might be around, I might not, likely not. But we'll be back on Thursday next week, and I'm sure it'll be fun. Anything you want to add, folks, before we... Oh, we're good? You're all very chill?
Subscribe, all those things.
Yes, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Put a comment below.
Join
Comments
us
make
on
a big difference.
Discord.
Yeah, join us on Discord. Come have fun with us. Yes, thank you, Zool, for pointing out as well. Yeah, smash the like on your way out. So, but yeah.
Ooh,
Mel?
be on the lookout for us, because we need to put this out. Because this is the thing we did in season 1, and we'll do it again in season 2. Is a post from us about nominating your favorite stabs.
Oh yes.
For season 2.
Yes.
So
I have been taking notes. I just did a rewatch, and I have a whole bunch of notes. And like, I will talk with my fellow IEL, and maybe I'll include the Wetlander, about how we're actually going to rate these. And then I also would love, maybe that'll be next week or the following week.
This
Not
Mayhem's
the
just
following week,
listening
because
in.
that's 100 years.
Yeah, Mayhem's just putting through. We need to figure out how to love, water, and shade in hand talk, so we can do that at the end of episodes.
Love. Oh, we should ask. We should actually ask Amazon Prime how they would say that love, water, and shade.
Yeah, we need to figure this out. So, but yeah, folks, until next time, may you always find. So we're going to do it as I say it. Love,
water,
and shade. Bye.